South Korea's new president has vowed to restore the country's economy and promote peace with North Korea, 6 months after the country was abruptly placed under martial law. Democratic Party candidate Lee Jae-myung has emerged the winner of the snap election, triggered by former President Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment. Lee has a big task ahead of him now. South Korea's population has been left deeply unsettled by the martial law episode, and the economy has suffered under Donald Trump's trade war. Let's bring in Sung-kyung Lee, Assistant Professor of Sociology at Sogang University, who joins us now from Seoul. Sung-kyung Lee, thank you for your time. This was seen as a referendum of martial law. Remind us of the circumstances and the result that has now been delivered.
Yeah, by the way, first of all, thanks for having me. And the candidate Lee Jae-myung from Democratic Party won the election by a significant margin, which is pretty much a landslide victory because, he won, 49% and the opposition party leader got 41%. So, just kind of, overall conclusion is that, South Koreans show some, spontaneous power of protecting their own democracy.
And I mean, you're in Seoul. What's the atmosphere like there after this result?
People were cheering, but the population is highly divided because given the fact that the pro Yoon and the pro martial law candidate Kim Moon-soo from the opposition party got 41% of the vote, which is quite large given the circumstances. So yeah, obviously the supporters of democracy and supporters of Lee Jae-myung, were cheering for the restoration of democracy, and they're looking forward to the future of democracy and the country. But, on the other side, the supporters of the Conservative Party and Kim Moon-soo were, already claiming for conspiracy theories and election fraud.
Now, tell us about Lee Jae-myung, his background. I mean, this isn't the first time that he's attempted this.
Yeah, mostly known as, just pragmatic approach to the economy and politics, kind of prioritizing the economic growth and, the political system's efficiency over the other agendas, especially corruption, etc. So, people used to appreciate his ability to process all the matters quite quickly and efficiently, and his capacity to put the economic growth over the others. But at the same time, he has serious weaknesses, especially due to his recent legal issues. The 5 cases in total, the 5 trials in total are ongoing at the moment.
And I mean, he inherits a deeply scarred country from those events with martial law being imposed. Can you tell us what changed in the 6 months since that time there?
Damages and attempt to restore, the public confidence in governing institutions and democracy in general are historically low. So, almost 40% of the population appear to support Yoon's coup and martial law. This was quite surprising to anybody, not just scholars and journalists, but ordinary citizens as well. So, based upon these suspicions about democracy, we saw unprecedented mob storming the Seoul Western Court earlier this year, and there are so many false claims about election fraud and corrupt officials, and especially confidence in judiciary is historically low, according to many polls. So this is kind of duality I mentioned before. On the one hand, we see kind of spontaneous attempt to protect our democracy, but on the other side, we see unprecedented rise of far-right populist claims about corrupt officials and the support for authoritarian leaders.
And so it's a big task ahead for Lee. What do you think will be the most immediate challenge for him?
economy, and the economy.
Yeah.
We didn't have any leader who was able to, negotiate on the tariff and trade things with Donald Trump. And, today we finally got a leader who just entitled to, to put that on the table. And so, the trade and the struggling domestic economy and the restoring the momentum for growth should be the first and the primary task for new president. But at the same time, just restoring confidence in democratic institutions and democratic governance in general, that shouldn't be ignored as well. And I think Democratic Party is definitely aware of it, but the new president Lee Jae-myung's his own legal risks should be quite worrisome. He was supposed to stand on the retrial for his case for election law violation later this month, but Democratic Party is pushing ahead with just a new bill that bans the incumbent president from the facing any trial during the incumbency, and this is causing some concerns about authoritarian shift coming from Democratic Party.
And just briefly, what now for former President Yoon Suk-yeol?
He's free and he hasn't faced any trial. But there should be some systemic effort to, to tribute all the, masses he caused to his presidency and himself. So we will see. There should be some collective effort to do it.